Coming up on Varsity Sports Now, we'll wrap up our 2-week preview of high school basketball in the Dakotas with a look at South Dakota boys and North Dakota's Class B girls.
Find out which teams head my list of preseason contenders in the first batch of Andera's Power Rankings.
It's all just ahead on Varsity Sports Now. How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Elson, joined by Jason Andera. This is Varsity Sports Now, our high school basketball preview. Part 2, of course, last week we looked at North Dakota Class A and B boys, Class A girls, along with South Dakota girls. They've all tipped off the season already, but this week we preview South Dakota boys basketball in all 3 classes and North Dakota Class B girls. We're going to start with South Dakota's biggest class. The defending champion Peer Governors graduated 2 of the best players in the state, and that leaves a wide open field of contenders. Take a look now at Andera's Power Rankings. Jason, here's your top 5.
Well, this is an interesting year in Class AA. You really could put about 8 teams in a blender and see what comes out, and I'd probably agree with most of it. But by default, I put Lincoln at number 1. They are the best team. They're the most experienced team. They're the tallest team. You've got Huron that's kind of in that same boat, probably the best player in the class, and Justin Decker. And then after that, it really becomes a mess. They've got a lot of teams that are good, but a lot of teams that have some weaknesses, including Roosevelt, Rapid City Stevens, and Brandon Valley, a team that a lot of other coaches really like as a sleeper this year. So they could land right at the top by the end of the season.
All right, let's take a closer look at some of those teams. As you said, Lincoln lands at number 1 to start the season. And we're going to hear now from Jeff Hulseth and the Pats on their expectations for this season.
We think we got some pretty good height this year. We've got, we got a 6'7", we've got 6'5", 6'5". We've got some pretty good height, right? And what we're trying to find now is what do we have for guard play. And we got a lot of guys that think they're going to step up and fill those shoes pretty easily.
The strengths have got to be leadership and our size. Like the size we have is our depth and how big we are. It's really nice to have.
Well, we lost some of our guards from last year, so that'll be different this year, but we're a lot bigger this year too with Malik coming up to play varsity.
There's some buzz surrounding Huron coming into this season. A lot of people think this team might have what it takes to win a title. But for now, head coach Tim Buttenhagen says his Tigers are focused on their internal goals.
Really our goal is to get to the state tournament, try to improve every week. Obviously we have a lot of improving to do. We won't really know where we're at until we play that first game.
Well, we got a lot of size, we got a lot of experience. We have 4 returning starters, and then Caleb was a 6th man off the bench. So we're all coming back, and we're strong, highly experienced.
Well, we hope to have a good season. Every team's expectation to win the state championship, and hopefully just come out, live up to the expectation that everybody's setting.
The biggest strengths are in the inside. We got 2 guys, 6'5", 6'6" in the inside. They're versatile, so they also can go outside. And then our luxury is our guards can go down and post up. So we can take some small guards or smaller guards or a point guard that likes to get out and run. We can take that person to the box and make them defend and run 95 feet.
The Roosevelt Rough Riders finished 3rd in Class AA last season, but all 5 starters from that team are now playing college hoops. And replacing that much talent, of course, always a tough task, but Lee Taylor and the Riders say they're up to the challenge.
I mean, there's not a superstar in this gym. There's a lot of good athletes, a lot of good kids, but there's not a superstar. And so, I like that. I like having guys that are all here competing to help each other out. And, I think that's when you have a group of kids that understand that, anything is possible.
This class is just as talented as last year. We have our JV team went 19-1 last year without the 3 that played varsity. And so I think we can be just as good, and we'll have a solid bench coming off, solid people coming off the bench just like we did last year.
Got me, Colton, and Josh Beck, who played last year. Ryan Leslie got some playing time, so Jason Spicer. That'll be the starting 5, so what it looks like. And we did lose 5, but this starting 5 that we have here, we've been playing together for a while. We play well together.
I'm excited for the games to get started. We work all off season. We work hard every day to get to those games. So we're getting excited for the games, and just being out there with the guys it'll be fun just to play and hopefully leave a legacy here that the seniors left last year as well.
Head coach Darius Buss and the Rapid City Stevens Raiders won 7 of their last 10 right at the end of last season. and they return all but one player. He says balance will be the strength of this team.
I think we're going to be pretty good defensively. I think if our kids continue to work and continue to focus on what's important defensively, I think we'll be a pretty good defensive team. I think we're going to be balanced. I know a lot of people think we're more reliant on Steven, but we've really done a nice job over the course of the offseason. Some kids really developed. So I think we're going to be balanced, and we're experienced. We've got 7 seniors, and the junior Sam McLeod has played a lot of minutes, and so we've got a lot of experience from last year's state tournament.
I think overall our team speed and then our defense is going to be our good next year. We're really good up and down the court. We're really fast this year. Defensively, we're getting better. We're very good right now. But as far, we have Steven Schaefer at the score too.
All right, now that we've heard from the coaches, some of the players as well, Jason, from some of your top 5 teams, what are you most looking forward to about this season? The fact that it is wide open, maybe?
Exactly, that this is wide open. Last season, you looked at the beginning of the year, you saw a healthy Pier team, and you saw a really loaded Roosevelt Rough Rider team, and you said, if those 2 teams don't match up at the end or not 1 and 2 most of the season, something's wrong. It did end up not exactly like that, but this season you get the feeling that, like I said at the beginning, there might be 7, 8, 9 teams that could make a run for this. And you look at a team like Stevens, who has a lot of balance. They've got a good front court. They've got an all-state returning guard back in the mix with Steven Schaefer. And then you've got teams like Lincoln who are loaded up on front. They go 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" on their front line. You got 2 6'8" guys in Huron and some tall guards on that team. There's strengths on a lot of these teams, but there's also weaknesses on a lot of these teams too. So they've all got something to shore up, and every coach I talk to, their only goal is to be playing their best ball in March. So you're going to see a lot of stuff early in this season that doesn't make sense when you look back at it at the end of the season.
Well, and you mentioned Rapid City Stevens. Let's talk about them just quickly, specifically. It's good to see a West River team that people think is a real option, or a real contender, I should say, in Class AA, because it's been a while.
They lost just 1 senior off their team last year in Bennett, and they bring back 4 starters, plus a guy like Sam McLeod, the brother of Margaret McLeod, who plays for the USD Coyotes. He'll be starting this year. He's like 6'7" down low. He's really improved his game. So it will be fun, and that will be probably the most balanced team we see in the state. The best team, I'm not sure. That's why we play the games.
Exactly. All right, it's going to be fun to see how it all plays out. All right, coming up on part 2 of our Varsity Sports Now high school basketball preview, Bishop Ryan girls coach Julie Stewart talks about her team's bid for a 2nd straight Class B title. But first, Jetty will unveil his preseason favorites in South Dakota Class A and B boys basketball. That's next.
Varsity Sports Now, presented by Shields.